Yo, I don't mean to brag, but I feel that this is legitimately one of my best samples yet. And I say this every other video, but I'm convinced that this is the one sample. Good folks, what is up and how are you doing? This is your favorite struggling R&B producer, Valentine D Plug. And today we are not just making an R&B beat, we are making an R&B drill beat. We are going back to my roots, so y'all sit tight. Let me hit you up with a preview. As usual, the first half of this video, we are going to be breaking the sample down. Second half, we're going to be flipping that baby. Let's get it popping. Alright, boom, beautiful people, welcome in FL Studio. Please allow me to break down my sample layer by layer. I think I have about 4 layers of this sample. I'm thinking about adding 2 more. Let's start off. So first thing I did, actually with this one I sat down and I was just clicking until I got one. Usually I have a melody in my head when I sit down, but with this one I just sat there. I was just clicking in the piano roll until I got something dope. And that's not for everybody. You know, some people really need to be playing on something to get a feeling of a melody. Some people can just hum or imagine a singing voice and make up a melody. I decided to just click. It's a little bit tedious, but it works. So the VST that I'm using is Evolution Modern Nylon by Orange Tree Samples. It is my favorite nylon guitar. I think it captures that sound well. And I made this super amazing melody, which kind of sounds a little bit like this. It's just all those cadences, you know, that big, very strong, Latin, gut-wrenching, heart-touching feel. It's everything I love about music. So one thing I just want to add, the reason why I really love this particular Contact library is that it also allows embellishments. There are tons of people out there that are making guitar melodies, but they don't understand how a guitar works. They don't understand the intricacies. They don't understand how important it is to be able to add embellishments or to get a natural feel of playing. And I think that Orange Tree Samples really hit jackpot with their engine. So that's what I'm using for my melody. Second thing I did, I took out a piano. I'm using the Gentleman a lot more these days, and I played some chords. Chords that I'm working with are a D sharp minor 7 chord inverted, lands on an A sharp minor chord with an F in the bass, lands on an inverted F dominant 7 chord, lands on an F augmented chord, lands on an inverted A sharp minor 7 chord with the root and the third in the bass as well. Second part of the phrase, basically the same. I'm also using a little bridge right here, using a D sharp diminished 7 chord, lands on an F dominant 7 chord, again lands on that A sharp minor 7 chord. So this is what it sounds like. And having those little steps, you know, that da, 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 was very important for me in a chord progression. I felt that it made it a lot more dynamic, so I try to incorporate that too. And also just hearing it reach a point of climax and then landing on that A sharp minor 7 chord as another important piece of sauce to your chord progressions. At least that's what I feel. So I took out my little friend the guitar and I started playing some chords to add a little bit more layers to the sample. Super simple, and I added another pattern where I'm doing just a little bit more strumming. And then I added another pattern where I'm playing broken chords. That's basically it. Now, what I did after that isn't too particularly interesting. I took out another instance of Contact, I opened a picked acoustic library, and I had it play this pattern. Alright, so I got me a loop. Why don't I get myself some drums, get a little groove going on, and from that we can just expand and add the details too. Alright, let's put that 808 down. I'm using my Reggie 808, which is basically an 808, which I took from Sublab using a template. I tweaked it to my liking. I'm gonna lay down an 808 pattern with this baby right now. Duplicate that again, add a little bit more. No, I think I'm gonna keep it that way, and I'm gonna open up another pattern to make some 808 slides. Okay, so basically I already put them down. I still have to turn them into slide notes, but I like working like this to just get a general idea of how I want my slides to go. Also, if you're watching this vid, you might be wondering, why in the fuck am I working at 75 BPM? Well, the story actually starts with me making this sample at 90 BPM, deciding that I want to go for an Afro swing type beat, hearing the sample, deciding that I want to go for a drill beat, speeding it down so that my guitar playing can match the tempo, and eventually I ended up at 75 BPM. It's not ideal, but I made it work. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a fan of using a little bit of distortion on my 808, so I added Devil Lock, which is an audio level destroyer. It has a crush knob and a crunch knob. I'm using both just to add some grit, a little bit more harmonics, and a little bit more growl to my 808. I feel that growl is very underrated in drill because it really makes those slides so much richer. So use an audio level destroyer or saturator or whatever form of distortion on your 808s. Give your 808s a little bit more growl. Trust me, it is the sauce, in my opinion. Alright, so two more layers that I want to add to the beat. I think I opened up vocal runs way back, so I'm just going to figure out the key by ear. Probably just going to play vocal samples until they line up with... what I'm hearing, and distort that a little bit. So I found myself a pad in Analog Lab, and by accident I sent it to the same Vox channel. I sent it to the same channel I'm using my Vox on, and so I kind of like it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to save this mixer track as, copy it to this one, call it pad. Then I'm also going to be adding an EQ cut and adding shaper box, and I think then I should be having the perfect pad. Never knew that auto-tuning your pad sounded good. What else sounds good or better after I auto-tune it? I need to use more auto-tune. Look, way I see it, this beat is done. This beat is basically perfect. Nothing much more I need to add. I can just do the arrangement, add a little perk here and there, and then the beat is perfect. And do a little bit of gain staging, of course. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna see you back for the next. Y'all be easy. Peace.